So again, it's a tax by regulation that's imposed on local communities on an issue, frankly, that I believe should be controlled by the states and local communities. I'll give you another case in our district of a very successful young man from Lewis County, Kentucky. He ran in the current wave of activism of people wanting to make a difference to get elected county judge executive of Lewis County, Kentucky. They're in tough economic times. His name's Tom Massey. He was a stellar student at Lewis County High School, went to MIT, got a graduate degree. He invented some remarkable robotics technologies, was very successful in business, and came back home to invest in his county, not monetarily, but to make a difference and to turn them around. And energy is an issue, not only in Texas and Kentucky. We're energy-producing states. We help to run, in effect, our states are part of the engine of this nation to help lay that foundation in the base of the economy. Tom Massey came up with a brilliant idea that didn't involve coal or oil or nuclear power, all of which we should use and let the market work in this area. But he came up with an idea that would leverage the resources available in Lewis County because it has one of the longest stretches of the Ohio River of any county in Kentucky. We also have a lot of hills. You might call them mountains in Texas where you live, but we call them hills and hollers where we're from. And this MIT-trained engineer had a brilliant idea, and he took the equivalent of a dual-phase pump, and he had seen some examples done in other parts of the world that would create a system of 2 lakes, and we have the Ohio River flowing on the front of this, one of the largest rivers in the country. And all it would take is channeling water, pumping it up to a lake on the top of the hill, and creating, in effect, a self-replenishing hydroelectric generating system that would meet the hydroelectric needs for a good part of that multi-county area, in addition to the current base. It would create jobs. It would provide low-cost utilities, so working families and the elderly and the poor would have access to electricity that would be cheap. It would be an incentive for businesses to grow and for manufacturing to come into these areas, because we wouldn't just do it there. We could do it all through the river basins of our nation. He found something out in his first impact with the regulatory framework that was done out of context. This brilliant idea that would have saved jobs and created jobs in Lewis County, Kentucky. He suddenly found out that if they take water out of the Ohio River, which I must say is not one of the more pristine rivers in the country in terms of all of its accumulated detritus coming from the Allegheny and Monongahela down from Pittsburgh to Cairo, Illinois, the water, it would be considered dirty by our standards. But if he takes water out of the river, if they have overflow from rain and want to put it back in, the whole project was killed on one basis, that any water put back into the river had to be cleaner than drinking water under the current EPA standard.
Oh my God.
This affects the energy industry. Coal produces almost 60% of power in this country.